Hello, good morning. Um, this is Mesma, and you are here in my studio in West New York. This is my painting studio. Welcome to Paint with Mesma. I come online once every weekend on Saturday afternoons or mornings at 11 o'clock. I really have to apologize for today's tardiness because I was having some issues with the internet browser and the internet connection. So I'm terribly late for this session. So I really am sorry about that. And I hope that people can still come in and participate in today's session. So the way this works is that I'm sorry. It's very hot today, so the air conditioning just comes on. I have to turn it off. Paint with Mesma is a weekly series where I interact with people, audiences, people interested in art, conversations around art, painting, because I paint in oil on canvas. And this is the space where I work. As you can see, this is my studio. And what I do during these sessions is that I work on a canvas, or rather, I open the camera to a canvas in progress. And I take questions, I interact with audiences, and we have a conversation about all matters of painting, history of painting. Sometimes I read quotations by artists. Sometimes I might bring an idea that intrigues me and I would like to share with people. Or sometimes, I muse over what is inspiring me at that given moment in time. I muse over different aspects of making art, of living an artist's life. And there is so much to say and so much to cover in this topic that sometimes it's hard to do it in an hour. I try to keep it within an hour, these sessions, because they can get heavy because there's a lot to say and a lot to learn for all of us. So I try to keep it succinct. And also, when people ask me questions, when people ask me specific things that they want to know or want to learn about, that is very helpful because then I know what exactly I should be talking about that is of interest and where I'm reaching you. So at any point you join this conversation, I would love to hear you um, speak up or ask a question or have a dialogue with me, because I like to keep it more conversational rather than a lecture, because I'm not trying to give a lecture. I'm trying to share my process, share my space and my ideas that inspire me. So here, as you can see, I'm working on a canvas. It's actually a canvas board. My medium is oil. I love oil for various reasons, and I have talked about this in my Instagram sessions also, that oil paint is a timeless medium, you know. It has been a part of the artist's expression for hundreds of years now. Of course, for a long time, we had fresco painting, the paintings on the walls or with earth pigments on cave walls of the caves, or fresco on the walls of, say, religious buildings, temples, or churches. And we also had tempera on wood in Europe. Tempera is a medium where you use egg yolk and you mix it with pigment, dry pigment. And it's a really glossy, beautiful medium, and it can give excellent results based on, of course, the technique of the artist and how much the artist is um, able to use it to his or her advantage. But tempera has been there for a long time. And then, of course, then we have watercolors and gouache and acrylics now. But acrylics is a very recent development in the world of art and especially painting. And although I love acrylics, uh, to watch it being applied. I love the effects that one can have with acrylics, but it is not my medium. I'm not in love with it. I'm in love with oil paint because oils have a certain alchemy about them. You can do a whole lot with oils because there is such a versatility in them. Then you have different kinds of paints. You have opaque paints, you have translucent, semi-translucent paints, and it all depends on how much linseed oil also is in those pigments. So the linseed oil is the binder in oils, just like egg yolk is the binder in tempera. So and then gum arabic is the binder in watercolors. So depending on the binder, you have all kinds of media. But what inspires me about oil is the layering that one can do with oil paint, is the complex texturing that happens, the complex mixing of chroma, of light, of color that can take place with the help of light. And because you can work with one transparent layer over the other, you can uh, create wonders with with oil paint. And also skin tones can be depicted beautifully in oil paint, uh, because our skin is not opaque, it's not a flat color. And that's why I find that acrylic as a medium is limiting, because you can't get the complex layering of color in acrylic. Some people do it, but I don't feel the luminosity that oils can provide to the painting. That same luminosity that you can't achieve with acrylics. So, for this reason, when you see human skin, there are various colors that are overlapped one on top of the other, and this was the great contribution, I think, of European artists. One of the greatest contributions was to depict the skin, the human skin, and its various complex complexions, and to give it a fuller form, to give it a, uh, a vitality, because the colors in oil, like I said before, are not mixed on the palette, they are mixed with light. So when translucent paint is applied one on top of the other, what you have is mixing of different colors through light. And it is exactly what happens with our skin. So, very masterfully, the old masters created these techniques of showing um, the complexity in nature, because that's what it all comes to, is the complexity that exists in nature that we sometimes take for granted, but when you are making a painting, you are trained to your eye is trained to look at the world in a larger, with more complex eyes. You need to learn how to penetrate the surface of the object, in order to get a fuller idea of what that object is, a more complete idea rather of what that object is. So there are various aspects to as to why oil paint is the king of painters, painting media. And so anyway, so the way this works is I work on the canvas that I have started, and I will come back and see if anybody is asking any questions, or if there are any thoughts that people have that they want to contribute, or to give ideas, offer ideas. I really like this to be a conversation. So if I see any questions, that will make me very happy. That will, propel the conversation forward. Otherwise, it's just me talking, and I don't like to hear myself talk for an hour. I don't know about you. So if you don't want me to talk for an hour, please help me out and type in your questions. Okay, so I will play some music, and in the meantime, I will work on my canvas. And you can see, as you can see here, maybe that I have started something and it is beginning to develop. There are still many layers that will go onto this canvas, although on the screen it might look like, okay, what's more to add to it? Somebody said that to me when they came to my studio and they looked at the painting and said, oh, it's finished. And I said, no, it's not finished. It's just starting, because because I see a whole lot of possibilities and a whole lot that needs to be done to this canvas for it to emerge, because you're really working as though you are carving out like a sculptor, you're carving the form out. And this is different from the what we call the alla prima method. I work in layers. So this is kind of the old master's technique. Alla prima means on the spot, right at that moment. So you are finishing, you're starting a painting and finishing it in one sitting, because you're working wet on wet paint. So while the paint is still wet, you're working, you're modeling it, you're working in it, you are creating the form, painting that form, and delineating it, and then you are finishing the painting in one sitting. This technique of layering paint is not like that. It has it requires a lot more time. I think it requires a lot more patience, and one cannot rush it. Well, if I've tried it and it ruins the painting, so you can't rush this technique. You have to be very, very how do you call it, patient with it. So this paint is now dry, because as you can see, I can touch it, and the paint doesn't come off. So the paint is dry, because I had started this last week. No, I started this 3 weeks ago, and then a week has gone by since I have done anything else, because I was working on something else in the meantime. So a week has gone by and I haven't really put anything here. So I will now work on the next layer of this paint, of this painting, and then you can watch how it emerges. I say the next layer because it's not the last layer. I've already put 1, 2, 3, 4 layers have already been added to this, and I'm going to now work on the 5th layer today. So I'm going to play some music and get to work. This is Zakim Sen and Rakesh Chaurasia live. Just mixing paint at this moment. So as you can see, this technique takes a while um, to work on, and you can see that the layering of the paint on the face is delineating the form of the face a little bit more as we continue to add more layers of colors. Now, I see that on the screen it's not translating uh, quite well in terms of its accuracy because it looks very different here than it does on the screen. So you just have to take into account the distortion that the screen produces on a on color and the density of pigment, and you see things that are not there actually, and you don't see the things that are there. Anyway, that is just a part of working with technology. By the way, I should say that I just play this music for my own focus and peace of mind and inspiration. I don't own the copyrights to this music, so YouTube, please don't cancel me out here. I am not trying to infringe on anyone's copyrights. I don't own this music. I'm just playing it for my personal purposes in the studio. So anyway, so here's my Paint with Mesma session for Saturday. If you have any questions, please send me a message. I will put my email information in the description box. And also, please visit my website for a whole gallery of paintings that I've done in the past. Some of them are available, I think, for sale, but I've sold a lot of paintings last year, and I'm creating a new portfolio now for an exhibition, hopefully soon. I'll keep you posted. But do visit my gallery online on my website, mesmabelsari.com/art. You'll see works in oil on canvas. You'll see works in pen and ink, some of the drawings, and then you'll also see some mixed media, pen and ink and watercolors. I like to combine them sometimes, just take a break from the intensity of oil and work in watercolors. So you'll see some of that as well. But Paint with Mesma is a weekly session from live from my studio. I was doing it on Instagram, and then it didn't work out. So I am now switching to YouTube, and I'd like to see how this medium works and move forward. If this medium works better, then I might stick to YouTube live stream so that I can also post it on my channel, and you can watch me here as I grow with you and my work. And also interacting digitally is a little tough because I don't see faces, I don't hear voices, I don't know who is out there, but I can only hope that you are watching me and that you are responding to what I'm doing and what I'm saying, although quietly. But please do write to me, do send me messages. My information is in the description box below. I'll be back next week when this painting might have progressed a little bit more and you get to see the development. I have a surprise addition to it as well. So if you are interested, please come back. I'd love to see you again live on YouTube now, Paint with Mesma at 11 o'clock on Saturdays. Today I had some problem with the internet, and also because this was the first time I was doing YouTube live from my studio, the setup, it threw me off. It wanted information that I did not have, and then I had to look it up. And anyway, long story, so I won't get into it. But sometimes that's the disadvantage of high-tech possibilities, although I'm very glad that I can be here with you live from my studio and that I can share my work with you. So I hope that you'll be back with me next Saturday at 11 o'clock. I promise I will not be late like today. And sometimes I just pick up a book of quotations by artists and I might read a few or one because there's so much to unpack. I like to hear what other artists have said about their work, about working, about being an artist, because those are the life lessons. Those are the guiding beacons for us who don't have that much of a community all the time around us, because we are living in a very different kind of world now. It's a much more individualistic, much more isolated world. And therefore, I rely on the giants who have come before us and who can teach us ways of uh, coping with the challenges of being an artist. So, these are challenging times. We are experiencing a huge seismic shift in the world. I think things are changing so quickly, and the world is spinning out of control. Uh, but here we are. We are living. We are fortunate. Those of us who are fortunate to live in peaceful environments where we have the options, and art uh, is a is a safe haven when you have those in that kind of an environment. Not only a safe haven, but it is a must as far as I'm concerned, because it really it helps me make sense of the world. That's what it is, and it's not a choice for me. Making art is not a choice. I'm not doing out of choice. It's kind of a do or die situation, you know. If I don't paint, if I don't dance, what's left? I don't think there's anything left for me. So that's why I do it, because I don't have a choice. Would I pick something else? No, because this gives me immense joy and immense satisfaction. Is a poor word. It is the life juice. It is the tonic that I wake up every day for, and I don't know if I could survive without making art. So it is what keeps me alive. Not to be melodramatic about it, but that is just a fact. If the fact is dramatic, I can't do anything about that. It's just a fact. So, anyway, that's all we have time for today. I will be back with you next week. And in the meantime, I'll keep working on this canvas. As you can see, it has changed somewhat, although you can't see it on the screen that much, as much as it has changed here. Anyway, so you will perhaps see new things in it. Perhaps I might take some things out. But this is a very simple subject matter. I like to paint more complex compositions, but for the sake of this session, I chose to work on a simple portrait. It's an imaginary portrait. I don't have models. I don't have any references. I don't look at images. I'm not copying from anywhere. I don't look at digital images or hard copies. This is just from my own studies, from my own imagination. Sometimes I look at my sketchbook and I will take from that, something will inspire me from that, or I'll just sit before a blank canvas until something comes, and something usually comes. So, it's not like I'm planning. I'm not a great planner of paintings. I see it in my mind's eye and then I go at it. I just take the plunge into the darkness and see what comes out. And then usually something satisfying, something exciting happens. Um, and then sometimes it falls apart. Sometimes it's very disconcerting and very problematic. And then you have to pick yourself up again and move forward with courage and with determination, perseverance, and the ammunition of practice that you have earned over time, of being in the studio, of putting in your time. And all of that helps you gather your courage, your strength, um, your parts that have fallen all over the place. You just pick them up and move forward. Anyway, I must go. I keep saying I'm going, and then something comes to my mind, and then I keep rambling. So I'm sorry about that. But hopefully, you'll be back with me next week at 11 o'clock New York time. And I think it's 8:30 in India, and 4 p.m. in in London GMT time. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next week.